You're listening to The Sports Fix.
Portions of the Sports Fix brought to you by Fantasy Jocks. Looking to upgrade your league trophy? Check out fantasyjocks.com for championship belts, rings, trophies, and more.
Sports Fix listeners, don't wait all day or all week to get in on the fun. The party doesn't stop when we go off the air all week long. The Sports Fix social media sites are your one-stop shop for all things Cleveland sports. Jump over to facebook.com/thesportsfix, facebook.com/thesportsfix, and become a fan today because we love fans and they create some of the best sports talk in town, Daddy. You'll enjoy talking to your fellow Cleveland sports fans on the Sports Fix fan page. And if Twitter's your thing, well, you know how we do it. Tweet with us at the Sports Fix CLE. It's that simple.
Twitter.com/thesportsfixcle, baby.
Chat live with the crew during all your favorite Cleveland sports events, tickets and contests and trivia and so much more. Get with us today, the Sports Fix on social media, facebook.com/the Sports Fix. Tweet with us at the Sports Fix CLE. Join the Sports Fix on Facebook and Twitter today.
I'm Tyler Zeller, and you're listening to The Sports Fix.
Live in Ohio, it's time to get your fix. The Sports Fix.
And indeed, we're live, off and running. Welcome in another edition of the Sports Fix, loaded Tuesday edition here. And it really is Tuesday this time when I say that. Unlike last Thursday, J-Rock, Jerry Myers kicking things off, cracking the mic, opening the airwaves, baby, as we are, as I said, off and running with the latest episode of the Sports Fix. Thanks to you guys for being here with us across the Sports Fix radio network. And that's a whole lot of places here, live at noon, each and every weekday at noon. Maybe you're listening to us on the sportsfix.net, directly on the home base. I see many of you guys jump on there each and every day. It's your one-stop shop for all things Cleveland sports. Many of you enjoying the show crystal clear, HD audio on TuneIn and TuneIn's radio app worldwide. Many of you also listening live on Spreaker and Mixler. Welcome into you guys, and shout out to the thousands listening around the world on digital delay 24/7 on iHeartRadio, on iTunes, on Stitcher Radio and SoundCloud, and all the different podcast formats, all the places that you subscribe to the show or maybe have that feed delivered to your device. Thank you guys so much. Just because you're not listening live, baby, you are every bit as much a part of the Sports Fix universe, and I mean it. Thank you guys so much for being with us again here as we get off and running today. Loaded Tuesday, not just an expression or a euphemism. A lot going on. Looking at the slate of guests, just about 10 minutes from now, we're going to kick this thing off with the preview of the World Series. That's right, Fall Classic, another one on the way. Jeff Gorman from Indians101.com going to be here as he is every Tuesday. We'll talk, I'm sure that we'll talk a little Tribe as well. We'll talk some World Series, set the stage, the Royals and the Giants. Game 1 tonight from Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City. It's going to be a good one too, with Bumgarner and Shields going at it to start things off. Jeff Gorman going to be with us to set the stage for the World Series here early on in the show. It's Tuesday during the NFL season. You know who's in the house. Dr. Football Bill Chachkes is going to be here as he is each week. We'll talk about the Browns and the latest with them coming out of that debacle in Jacksonville, and now with the Raiders on tap, we'll look back at last night's Monday Night Football game. Hey, I don't know how many of you guys watched last night, but man, Houston jumped out early and then Pittsburgh jumped back quick. So for those of you guys that want to, use the Steelers and take the plus away from what the Browns did to them, I mean, granted, Houston's got some issues too, but everybody talked in the preseason about that defense you're going to have to deal with over there. I'll tell you, the Steelers once again showed their demise. I use this term a lot, and I hate saying anything good about the Steelers, but their demise also prematurely announced by a lot of people. They are a step below their high standard, just like I say that about a team like San Francisco this season, but that still is not the same as being an afterthought. But the difference, and we say it all the time, and I think people are really starting to finally come to grips with the fact that the NFL has worked so hard, and I think artificially in a lot of ways, to create what they've got now, which is not just absolute parity from season to season, but from week to week. I mean, you're really seeing that doesn't matter what two teams go out there, you might as well flip a coin in half of these games. Now, granted, the cream will always rise to the top at the end. The best will separate themselves from the pack, but there's no longer a whole lot of separate layers. There's not good teams and great teams and mediocre teams and bad teams and horrible teams. There's just every team, and then a couple separate themselves at the end, which is a great thing for the league. If you're the league, that's what you aim for, and it keeps everybody in it. It keeps everybody around, but we're seeing it. We're just seeing it from week to week, whether it's, hey, the Browns go and do two amazing things back-to-back and then go get beat in Jacksonville. Seattle gets upset by the Rams. I mean, we could go on through a dozen different results in the early part of this season where you're like, well, didn't see that one coming. It's just it's the nature of the beast. But yeah, last night Pittsburgh said, hey, we still got some football left to play too. And a little bit of trickery there. Antonio Brown, of course I know what he did because he was against me in fantasy football. And I was in a no-win situation last night. I needed Heath Miller to beat out Antonio Brown by 15 points, and as obviously that wasn't happening. So anyways, we'll talk about all of that with Dr. Football Bill Chachkes here. We'll talk a bit about the Percy Harvin trade too. We didn't really get into that after we came back from the weekend, so all of that coming up with Dr. Football. Doug Plagens, the voice on TV and radio for your Lake Erie Monsters. He's with us here this afternoon in hour number 2. We'll talk about a tough weekend, early season stuff here, but a tough weekend nonetheless in Chi-Town for the Monsters, and we'll look ahead to what's next on tap as they continue the road portion of their early season schedule. Doug Plagens of the Monsters in the house later on. We're talking Cavs. We're talking all kinds of things in the news, and we want to do it with you. I'm going to open up the phone lines. I'm going to have maybe the first segment here, first 8 minutes, next 8 minutes or so, that I'll open up the phones, and then it's going to be tough sledding to get in on the phones until the end of the show. Just giving you a heads up now. If you do want to call, I want to hear from you. 216-539-7535. 216-539-7535 is the number to give us a call, or you can hit us up, as always, Facebook, Twitter, email, all those nifty electronic ways to do the thing. Facebook.com/thesportsfix, which, by the way, if you follow us on there, you will see this today. I posted some more in the most ridiculous series of photos. I'm telling you, people, I mentioned it before, some of you guys do unnatural things with my head and send the photos, and I love it. Now, I can't shake it. I'm James Brown in Rocky IV now. They done put my head on Uncle Sam with the top hat and everything. I'm juggling. I'm almost sure that that's David Blatt's body with my head on it, but I'm not 100% positive about that. But anyways, you only get to experience these things if you follow us on Facebook, because I definitely put that stuff out there. It is hilarious. I mean, I'm telling you, I love it. And actually, the Uncle Sam one, I may remove the Sports Fix logo from behind it. I may put that bad boy on a wrestling t-shirt and find a way to market that thing for the holidays, because it's actually pretty nifty how they took my head and they got the little top hat. Anyways, well, it's still unnatural. That head is not supposed to be in those places. I'm just telling you. Sometimes it looks freaky with that thing floating there. Those are the wonders. Now people are unfollowing us on Facebook as I continue to describe that. Anyways, Facebook.com/thesportsfix. Tweet with us at thesportsfixcle. You can email us thesportsfix@aol.com. Jeff Gorman's coming up in just a few minutes. Couple of things though. You know what? I might as well. You know what? If you're going to rant, you might as well wake up, get it going nice and early. If you're going to get going about something, let me get going about something here. You know, yesterday while we were on, okay, so they tell me it's not David Blatt. Whatever you say, man. It looked like it. It looked like it. But anyways, okay, so yesterday on the air, let me segue here. Let me get the jestiness out of my voice, because I'm a little bit hot. Yesterday, you guys were listening, for those of you that are with us on Mondays. later in the show, the Ray Rice, somebody started sending me some messages, and I got 2 or 3 during the show that said, hey, man, have you heard anything? This Ray Rice is on his way back. And I'm like, no, but I'll look into this as soon as we get off. Obviously, I knew that there was some kind of trending stories out there or whatnot. And sure enough, go off the air, and I go start checking it out. And absolutely, they were 100% right about that. The title of the first thing that came up when I Google searched this thing was how Ray Rice could be back in the NFL within a month. And it proceeded to explain how it's not just this might happen. It's more looking like this is most likely going to happen. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding. Like, it's so matter-of-factly put here. CBS Sports was talking about it, Fox Sports, and now I've pulled up all of these articles here, and I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. It's now basically seen as not only a foregone conclusion that he is reinstated relatively soon here in the NFL, could be possibly he may be reinstated before Josh Gordon gets back to play for the Browns, the way this thing is looking at. And the Colts and the Patriots are both being mentioned as places that he may end up. Now, that is not necessarily coming from those teams as much as rumors of things like that. But let me just start. First off, this cat should not be playing football. Let me start there. Ray Rice should not be playing football. I don't know about forever, but he definitely shouldn't be playing football again this season. No doubt. The NFL is still unwinding itself from their own self-made mess here with this thing. And this guy, he may be back on the field before the NFL's done investigating itself for its lack of punishment for Ray Rice. How crazy does that sound? He may be back on the field before the NFL is done with their own internal investigation about their Ray Rice investigation. This is amazing to me that this is even happening here and that we're talking about this. And now let's take all the moral ramifications out of it. If I'm the Baltimore Ravens, I'd be lightweight pissed right now too, because I don't think that forget to say what I'm going to say now, you've got to take the domestic violence thing out of it. I'm now talking simply in asset terms, athlete as an asset of an organization under contract, that kind of thing, which is nothing to do with what I think about Ray Rice. I'm just taking a different tact on this argument. If I'm guaranteeing you that if the Baltimore Ravens organization had any idea that this would be possible, that he could not only make it back, but that some team would be willing to put him back on a roster, there's not a chance in hell that they would have cut him loose to begin with. Because if I'm the Ravens, I'm looking at the NFL like, now I know I made the choice to cut him, and that means that he can sign with somebody else. But you guys screwed this thing up, NFL, just like we screwed this thing up as the Baltimore Ravens. We did what eventually everybody in the public thought was the right thing. We had all this public pressure. We did what we were expected to do. Better late than never. And there's a lot of questions to be answered about how all that stuff was handled. That's the investigation that's still going on. I'm just simply saying, here, this cat could end up walking on to another team. And now, I'm just saying, that's a completely different way to look at it. Like, I would say that if, and I can't believe I'm saying this, because he should not be allowed to come back this season. Plain and simple. That's my opinion. You're not going to change it no matter what you tell me about collective bargaining and due process and all of that. And if I ever beat my woman in an elevator like that and get caught on video, I guess I'll fall on my own sword and deal with the consequences of the same thing that I'm talking about now. I guess you live by it, you die by it. I'll die by my own words here right now. You can hold me to it. So I'm not expecting to deal with that situation. My point being is, even there, so if he does come back, should not the Baltimore Ravens get the first opportunity to have him free and clear to re-sign him before anybody else? And probably not. And again, none of this should be part of the discussion because he should not be coming back to play football. That's all there is to it. But I'm just saying, that's a whole nother side of this. I guarantee you, public pressure or not, the Ravens weren't cutting him loose if they would have known that you would have just had to deal with an 6 or 8 week firestorm in the media, and then people would be on to the next thing, and we're no longer talking about this anymore, and we've forgotten all about it, and now we're just going to let the guy come back and play. I mean, I don't know, man. And what team would want – that's the other thing. These stories about